Emma wipes down the last table in the small cafe, the faint scent of brewed coffee and pastries lingering in the air. The bell above the door jingles, and she glances up, expecting the usual lunch crowd. Instead, a man steps inside, sharp suit, perfectly polished shoes, and an air that makes her stomach knot. He scans the room with a glance that feels more like a challenge than curiosity. He approaches the counter, tapping his watch impatiently. "This is ridiculous," he mutters, loud enough for the few other customers to hear. "I've waited 20 minutes for a cappuccino. Are you even paying attention?" Emma straightens, forcing a smile. She's dealt with rude customers before, but something about him makes her hands tighten around the cloth she's holding. "I'm sorry for the wait, sir." "I'll get it right away," she says calmly, her voice steady even as his eyes narrow at her. He waves a dismissive hand. "I don't want an apology, I want it done properly." "Maybe you need training," Emma cuts him off, placing the cloth down. Her heart pounds, but she stands her ground. "Sir, I can make your cappuccino perfectly, but I don't appreciate being spoken to like I'm incompetent. Please treat me with respect." The cafe goes quiet. A few customers glance at them, whispers curling through the room like smoke. The man freezes, clearly unaccustomed to being challenged. His jaw tightens, but Emma doesn't look away. "I said," he starts, but she raises a hand gently. "Sir, I will make your order correctly. I'm just asking you to speak politely while I do it." For a moment, the tension is unbearable. Then, slowly, his shoulders slump. A faint, almost imperceptible smile tugs at the corner of his lips. He nods once. "Fair enough," he mutters, quieter this time. Emma breathes out slowly, reaching for the espresso machine. She works efficiently, steaming the milk, pulling a perfect shot, and pouring the foam into a delicate heart pattern. She sets the cappuccino on the counter with a practiced flourish. "Here you go, sir. 1 cappuccino, exactly as requested." The man picks it up, staring at the foam for a long moment. Then he looks at her, really looks at her, as if seeing her for the first time. "You handled that well," he says, and there's an unfamiliar respect in his tone. Emma nods politely. "Thank you, sir. Enjoy." He takes a tentative sip, then sets the cup down. "You know, most people wouldn't have the courage to." He stops abruptly, glancing around the cafe as if noticing it for the first time. "I'm sorry for my behavior earlier." Emma raises an eyebrow. "It's okay. I just want everyone to have a good experience here. That's all." A quiet chuckle escapes him. "Most people in my world don't get that kind of honesty. You've impressed me." Emma blinks. She's heard plenty of compliments in her life, but the weight behind this one feels different, heavier, meaningful. She doesn't know why, but she senses something about this man is more than it seems. He slides a card across the counter. "I'd like to speak with you later. You've handled yourself admirably." Emma picks it up. It's sleek, professional, but there's no company logo. Just a name and a phone number. Before she can ask any questions, he nods, turns, and leaves the cafe. The bell jingles again, and the door closes behind him. For the rest of her shift, Emma can't stop thinking about him. There's something about his demeanor, the way he reacted after she stood her ground. She shakes her head, trying to focus on clearing tables, serving the regulars, and finishing her day. But the memory lingers, persistent. The next morning, her phone buzzes with a message. She hesitates before opening it, fingers trembling slightly. It's from the man. "Good morning. This is Alexander Clark. I'm the CEO of Clark Enterprises. I'd like to meet for coffee, my treat." "You've earned it." Emma blinks. The rude man from yesterday. The CEO of a massive company. Her mind races. She's never met anyone like him, and now the idea of meeting him outside the cafe feels both thrilling and terrifying. After pacing in her small apartment for a while, she texts back, "Okay. Coffee sounds fine. Where and when?" He replies almost instantly, giving her a time and a downtown cafe she knows well. The day of the meeting, Emma arrives early, dressed neatly but comfortably. She watches as people bustle by, taxis honking, the city alive around her. She spots him immediately, Alexander, in the same sharp suit, but there's a softness in his posture now, a genuine smile when he sees her. "Emma," he says, standing. "Thank you for coming." No problem, she replies, sliding into the chair across from him. For the next hour, they talk, not about work, not about orders, but about life. He asks about her dreams, her family, her love for coffee. She listens as he shares his own story, long hours, pressure, constant expectations. He admits, finally, that he often tests people without telling them, trying to see who has integrity, who can remain honest under stress. Emma realizes then that she wasn't just a barista yesterday. She was part of his test. And she had passed. You surprised me, Alexander says, leaning back in his chair. Most people would have cowered or argued back aggressively. You handled it with respect and confidence. Rare qualities. Emma feels warmth in her chest. She smiles shyly. I just wanted to do my job and be treated like a human being. He nods slowly, as if this small sentence carries weight far beyond what she realizes. Exactly. And that's why I wanted to meet you. I want you to consider working for me, at Clark Enterprises. I know it's a big step, but your honesty, your poise. I think you'd thrive. Emma's heart races. She's never considered working in a corporate environment. Her life has been simple, family, friends, cafe shifts, and small routines. But something about this man, this chance, sparks a curiosity she can't ignore. I'd have to think about it, she says carefully. Of course, he replies, smiling. No pressure. Just consider it. You have qualities rare enough to be valuable anywhere. Over the next few days, Emma reflects. She talks to her mom, her friends, and even writes in her journal about the strange, thrilling encounter. She realizes it wasn't just about the job offer, it was about her standing up for herself, showing courage and composure. Something she hadn't realized she was capable of. When she finally calls Alexander back, she feels ready. I'd like to discuss your offer, she says, trying to sound confident. The rest unfolds like a dream. Emma visits Clark Enterprises, meets the team, learns the ropes. Alexander watches from a distance, occasionally offering guidance, never micromanaging, always observing. He values results, yes, but integrity, kindness, and composure matter more. Months pass. Emma thrives in the new environment. She impresses colleagues and clients alike, navigating challenges with calm confidence. Alexander continues to challenge her, sometimes testing her patience, but always pushing her to grow. And slowly, a mutual respect blossoms, an unspoken understanding between two people who recognize each other's strengths. One evening, after a particularly successful presentation, Alexander approaches her desk. Emma, he says softly. I've watched you handle everything with grace. You're remarkable. Emma smiles, her cheeks warm. Thank you. That means a lot coming from you. He hesitates for a moment, then adds, I want you to know something. The first time we met, when you stood up to me, that moment told me more about you than any interview ever could. I hoped you'd succeed, but you exceeded even my expectations. Emma feels a flutter in her chest. The memory of yesterday's cafe confrontation is vivid, but now it's framed differently, no longer fear or tension, but respect and opportunity. She realizes that courage, honesty, and standing up for oneself can open doors she never imagined, and though the man who once seemed intimidating and rude now smiles at her with warmth and genuine admiration, Emma knows it all began with a simple choice, to remain polite, yet firm, to not let fear control her actions. That decision set the course of her life on a new, thrilling path she could never have foreseen.